Hello guys and welcome to another profile tree video. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at ChatGPT. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So just before we get into the ChatGPT platform itself, let's gain a better understanding on this. So for those who don't know, ChatGPT is an advanced language model which was developed by OpenAI. Now for those who are wondering what GPT stands for, it means Generative Pre-trained Transformer, also known as GPT. So based on the Generative Pre-trained Transformer architecture, it's designed to generate human-like text responses, making it versatile as well as being a versatile tool for a wide range of applications that require natural language understanding and generation. Now, more of a detailed overview on ChatGPT itself is number one, the language understanding and generation. So these are some of the key features. ChatGPT is trained to understand and generate human-like text, enabling it to engage in conversations, answer questions, write content, and plenty more. Number two would be the large-scale training data. So it is trained on a diverse and extensive dataset, which includes books, websites, and other text sources, allowing it to have a broad understanding of language, context, and world knowledge. Number three would be the contextual responses. So one of the strengths of ChatGPT is its ability to generate contextually relevant responses. It can understand the context of conversation or query and provide responses that are coherent and contextually appropriate. Number four is its versatility. So ChatGPT can be used for a variety of different tasks, including but not limited to customer service, content creation, language translation, tutoring, and even coding assistance. So if you're a web developer and you find yourself a little bit stuck, then you can use ChatGPT. If you're maybe looking for some blog content, again, you can use ChatGPT for content creation. So it is a very handy tool to have. Now for the fifth key feature is its continual learning and updates. So while the core model is trained on a fixed dataset, continual updates and refinements are made to improve its performance and capabilities. So with that being said, what could you actually apply the ChatGPT to? So firstly is customer support. So as I mentioned, you can use it for customer support. That means automating customer service inquiries by providing accurate and contextually relevant answers. You could also use it for content creation. So as mentioned before, it can assist you in writing articles or blog posts, generating creative content, or even composing emails. So it's just really good to use this platform, especially if there's some certain areas that you may not know. ChatGPT is there to help. It can also be used for education and tutoring. So providing explanations on various topics, helping with language learning, or as well as this, tutoring students. Now, it can also be used for programming help. So offering coding assistance and debugging tips to programmers. So especially if you are stuck on a particular project, and of course there is probably a coding language or a bit of code that you may want to condense or you may want to fix, then of course you can use ChatGPT to assist. Now overall, I would say that ChatGPT is just a great conversational tool to use. So you can just simply interact with it one-on-one with whatever sort of conversation you want to have a topic on. Now going through the strengths of ChatGPT is definitely the human-like interaction. So the ability to generate text that closely resembles human writing is fairly good for what it is, especially since you can either copy and paste some content or use that content to structure a email or content or whatever you have that's composed. As well as this, it has a wide range of knowledge, so it's training on diverse data sources, which gives it a broad base of general knowledge. Another thing as well is the customization and integration. So ChatGPT can be integrated into different platforms and applications and customized for specific use cases. Now, in terms of limitations, it will have some. So based on the training data, its responses are limited to the knowledge it was trained on. So sometimes if you ask it for very, very specific topics, or if you're maybe wanting it to diagnose a website or whatever you're using it for, sometimes it may not reflect the most current information or events. So say if you said top 3 songs of 2024 or 2023, then what will happen is it'll base it off some of the previous knowledge that it's picked up on, and it may not be the recent one. So we all know that some information is always changing, and that is one of them, which is like top hits or any sort of relevant information that you guys will know. So that is one of the issues or limitations. It does have a bit of bias and error as well. So like any AI model, it can be prone to bias present in the training data and can sometimes generate incorrect or non-essential responses. So that is something that you want to maybe work on if you have gotten some sort of feedback or information based off it, and you're maybe using it for content creation. I would 100% make sure to look over it and double check the information that it's given. Now remember, ChatGPT can make mistakes, so it's always best to recheck the information given. Now, it does have a lack of personal experience as well. So as an AI, it doesn't have personal experiences or emotions, and that can heavily limit its effectiveness in certain types of human interaction. So that is one point as well. But I would say that it is an overall great platform to use, especially if you need content straight away, or if you're maybe stuck on some sort of content, or of course a bit of coding as well. Then you could use ChatGPT to always assist. So what we're going to look at for ChatGPT is, yes, there's 2 different types of platforms on this. There's actually ChatGPT 3.5 and there's going to be ChatGPT 4. So we'll take a look into that closely. One thing to note as well is there is another application that you can use on ChatGPT, and just to give more of an insight, it's called DALL-E. Now, DALL-E is an AI program developed by, again, OpenAI. Now, with this is it does have image generation from text. So DALL-E can create images from textual descriptions, which can be as straightforward or as imaginative as you like. So for instance, you can ask DALL-E to generate an image of a 2-headed flamingo, and it'll produce a visual presentation of that concept. It does have understanding and interpretation, so the program demonstrates a significant understanding of objects, attributes, and concepts, and their relationships. This allows it to combine elements in novel ways based on the description it's given. It's also creative and artistic, so DALL-E is noted for its creative capabilities. It can generate artwork in various styles and combine unrelated elements to create surreal and unique images. It also has high resolution images, so the images generated are of high quality and resolution, and that makes them suitable for a range of uses from digital art to illustration. Now, where exactly can you apply the applications of DALL-E? Number 1 would be towards art and design. So artists and designers can use DALL-E to generate creative visuals and explore new artistic concepts. You can also use it for advertising and media, so for creating unique and tailored imagery for advertising campaigns, social media, or editorial content. Another area you can use it for is educational purposes, so it can be used as a tool for educational and teaching purposes, especially in creative disciplines. And as well as this, it's great as well for entertainment and recreation, so people can experiment with DALL-E for entertainment, creating fun and imaginative images. One thing to note is you can't actually use this as a tool, but you just have to be careful for what you put down on the actual DALL-E platform. Sometimes it'll give you an image. It can be a little bit not really the right sort of setting that you wanted to have the actual image to be. So I'll actually just demonstrate that later on in the video, but there are some images where it just doesn't tie in well to what you've asked it for, and you can also use them for blogs, for blog images as well. And then of course that's where you have, or add in your alt text as well. So we'll take a look at this later on in the video. But anyway, with the technological significance of DALL-E, firstly is the advancement in AI. So I would say that DALL-E represents a significant step forward in the field of AI, particularly in machine learning models related to natural language processing and computer vision. And it is just an overall a gap between text and visual art, and it showcases the potential for AI in creative fields. So now that we've got an understanding on what ChatGPT is all about, the fact that there's 3 forms of platforms on ChatGPT, I'm now going to demonstrate the platform itself and how you can use it on a daily basis. So here we have ChatGPT itself. So you can see that we are currently on the 3.5 version, and this is ideal for everyday tasks. You also have ChatGPT 4 with DALL-E and browsing with analysis. So that one is limited to 40 minutes or 3 hours, and you may have to have some form of payment, especially if you want to gain the ChatGPT 4, say for unlimited or whatever you may use it for. Now, there are a couple of examples below just to get you started with using ChatGPT, especially if you are new. You also have a little disclaimer there, basically stating the fact that ChatGPT can make mistakes, so consider checking important information. So that is one thing to know or take a note of when you are using ChatGPT itself. So if we do use one of the following examples, so say, tell me a fun fact, you can see that it'll just give out a fun fact about the Roman Empire. So we've placed an input and the output is a random fun fact. If we tell it something specific, so if we say 2 plus 2 equals, so if you tell it something specific like 2 plus 2 equals 4, or 2 plus 2 equals, and then it'll say 4. So that's giving you an answer. So it's great for using it for information. So if you need information, say, I need information on, let's just say something to do with web development, what web development is all about. Then it'll instantly give us some information based on what it knows about web development. So you can see here, we've already got a whole script. So firstly, you get an intro. Web development is a process of creating websites or web applications and so on. And then number 1, it states the fact that there's front-end web development. The fact that there's 3 points there stating that front-end developers focus on visual aspects, and then they use technologies like HTML, CSS. So this is basically content or information that we may need. Now say that you need this tool to create a blog. So I could do something completely random, say, can you please create a blog post based on car emissions? So something really random, so car emissions. So firstly, it'll give you a title, so understanding car emissions, impact and solutions. So here we have a little bit of a background information on it and talks about the impact of what car emissions is. But I would recommend to just double check the information that it's provided. Sometimes it can be wrong. As it states, consider checking important information. I would say that this is important information, as you could see. So air pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, health impacts. Now note, if you are going to be using it for content creation, it is good to consider the fact that people will read this, especially if you're having it on a blog post and okay, they spot something that's not right. So it's best to research. So you can't fully rely on ChatGPT, but it does definitely help with what you may need to take on, or just some of the information that you may not know. It's always best to ask ChatGPT, sure, and then double check that information on Google or any sort of search engine console. It's always best to do a double check. Now, yes, you can also use it for content information as stated, But another great thing about ChatGPT is you can also use it for code. So say I need some information on a particular code. So just say I have a broken bit of code for node.js. Can you please fix it? So it'll ask us a prompt. So that's our prompt, and then it says, of course, be happy to help your broken node.js code. Please provide me the code or snippet that's causing you an issue. So we'll go ahead and provide a snippet. Okay, so here we have a bit of random code. So we can see it's var http, so then it's going to say hello world. So blank site that's going to say hello world. So we need this to work. So let's just say that we remove one. So we'll just see if it will recognize if I remove this and then enter it. So you can see straight away that, okay, it looks like there's a small issue in your code. You've used var keyword without declaring a variable name. So it understood the fact that I removed the variable http, and it's actually added it in. And now it says var http equals require. Now you can always say, is there any way to reduce the code? It'll ask and give you some suggestions. So this time it's asked a constant. So constant, which is the variable name, equals require http, and that has more or less reduced the code by one line. So there are multiple ways of doing it. You can even say, is there any way to shorten or make this code better? So something like that. So here we have it. So constant http equals require, and it even gives you an idea on why it's made those changes. So we could even see we combine the creation and listening of the server into a single chain, which makes the code more compact. We kept the use of constant to declare the HTTP and server variables for modern JavaScript best practices. You can even ask it for more detail. Give me more detail as to why you've made the code like this. So you can see that it's now providing some information based off what it's changed and why it changed it. So using constant and ES6 syntax. So in modern JavaScript development, it is recommended to use constant for variables that won't be reassigned. So it's stated that, and it even gives you an example of that. So it is very handy. It's a very handy tool, of course, to use ChatGPT, especially since I would more call it a tool, especially if you use it on a daily basis. And you can see how it's a multitasker. It's able to create a blog post, and as well as that, it's able to give me some information based on the incorrect code. So if I told it to, are you able to give me simple code to build a chess game for Python? So if I told it that, you can see that it's now creating a board. So we all know that Python is a very simple coding language to use. So here we have board, and it gives us the display for the chessboard. It even tells us what that does, and you can see what it used in order to create it. So that is pretty much the simplest form. Is there a more complex version to this chess game? So let's see. So this is where I can create one. Can you build me a more complex version of the Python code you gave me? See if we can get a little bit more of a complex build. So you can see how it's able to present us with multiple different coding languages. It's not just Node.js. There's Python as well. There's C++, there's HTML, CSS, loads of different coding languages. ChatGPT will be able to execute that particular information that you need. So going back to the blog post or anything else like the educational side of things. So if I wanted to maybe do a geography lesson, so I'm a teacher, so we'll just say this. How can I talk about equators to my year 8 class? Give me a lesson plan to use. So then you could say the topic is equator movement, or not really into geography, but something based off that. So if I enter it, you could see that, okay, so here's a lesson plan on the topics of equators for a year 8 class, typically around 12 to 13 years old. So it's gauged what year 8s are. And this is the lesson title, Exploring the Equator. Of course, you're not really going to need a lesson title anyway. It's even talked through a duration, so it's even outlined what you can do. Now, say I need this to last till, let's just say I need it to last till, so we'll just say an hour and 45 minutes. So roughly that is the duration. It's been a while, but we'll just say an hour and 30 minutes. So now it's going to give me a duration or time for an hour and 30 minutes. So it's given us more activities to use. So activity 1, equator location. Activity 2, significance of the equator. Activity 3, countries on the equator, and so on. So again, using 3.5, I can pretty much go on and show you guys so many different examples. It is just a very good platform to use. I would really recommend it, especially if you're stuck on content, then this is the platform to use. Now, I want to also showcase ChatGPT 4. Now, ChatGPT 4 has the same capabilities as 3.5. However, one thing it can't do for the 3.5, which is create an image based off text. So if I said something really random, can you create an image of a shark? Can you create an image of a shark teaching a class? So there's something really random out of the blue. And what it's going to do now is create that image of a shark. So we'll see what it does. I'll just skip ahead once this has been generated. So you can see that it's pretty much created a cool little image here. So it's a shark teaching fish about fish things. So you can see there. Not too sure if that's all correct. Whatever. Anyways, you can see that it's created something really random. Now, if I wanted to ask for information based on a website, I can go ahead and do that. So let's just say this. Can you provide me with information about profile tree? So then this will use Bing, and it'll do its research. It'll go through the search engine using SEO to find out what profile tree is all about. So here we have it. Profile Tree is an award-winning digital marketing agency founded by Michelle and Kieran Conley in 2010. They specialize in digital growth and content marketing, offering a range of services including video production, marketing, content marketing, SEO, and web development, and AI. So that, I would say, has been recent. It's recent information because it has said something based on AI. But you can see how it's going into detail based off the areas that we specialize in. And so it's just trying to finish the information there. But that's what it's pulled out of if you're using ChatGPT 4. you're able to pull information from different sources, and of course double check to see if it is correct. If you are using it for a blog, or if you're using it for some sort of information that you need it for, then I would recommend to double check it. But that is the capabilities of ChatGPT 4 as well as ChatGPT 3.5. So both these platforms are really good to use, especially if you are creating or doing a task. But guys, that pretty much reaches the end of the video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, let us know in the comment section below. We'd like to know what you think. But other than that, I'll see you guys for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.